Previously on Sea Stories.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me. We pillage, we plunder, we rifle and loot. Drink up, me hearties, yo-ho. We kidnap and ravage and don't give a hoot.
Yo, what up, fam? What's up, guys? Welcome back to Navy Sea Stories, episode 3. You guys have been super fucking patient. Really fucking patient waiting for this episode. You guys blew up episode 2, episode 1. There's so many fucking likes and comments, and I'm like, damn. You guys really want to see more fucking sea stories. But this story you're about to hear tonight, it's gonna be honestly a little more somber. It's gonna be very serious. And it probably is one of the most shocking experiences I've ever been in my life, not only in the military. So let's get into this episode. So just so you guys understand the context and the gravity of the situation and where I was at this point in my military career, I had been in 3 years at this point. I was in E4, about to put on E5. I was stationed in Atsugi, Japan. I was on Naval Airfield at Atsugi, Japan. This is about an hour south of Tokyo, and it's where all the squadrons are. So when we go on deployment, all of the squadrons from my base that I was on, we all went on the aircraft carrier out of Yokosuka, and that's where we go when we're deployed. But when we're not deployed, we all work on this base in Atsugi, all the F-15 squadrons, P3s, Helos. If you read up about the Navy base I was on, about Atsugi, Japan, you'll see that I was stationed on one of the most haunted bases in all of the military. It's where a lot of the kamikaze pilots took their life in World War II after they surrendered. So it is a very eerie place to be at. Una palabra. This story is going to involve my old roommate that I had in the Navy. The very first roommate that I got when I was in Japan. I do have a video about him. If you guys might have seen the video on my channel, but if you haven't, I'll give you a little backstory real quick. My roommate was openly gay in the military. It was actually pretty interesting because when I was in, Don't Ask, Don't Tell was in effect. And then 2 years after I was in, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, they took it away. So you can be openly gay in the military. So he was, you know, he was a really good worker. He was a great roommate. I never had any problems with him except one time. And that's when I basically walked in on him sleeping with another sailor from my squadron. If you want to see that whole video, I'll leave the link for that. But just to give you a little backstory, this is the sailor that's going to be involved in this sea story tonight. So he was my roommate for the first year I was in Japan, the first 9 months. And then finally, I made E5 and I got my own room. So they moved him next to me. So he got his own room, I got my own room. He was right next door to me though in the barracks. Now leading up to this evening where this crazy event went down, you know, there had been some issues where I had heard him, you know, crying, or I'd heard him upset. You know, the walls are very, very thin in the barracks. So I knew that, you know, there was some pretty emotional stuff going on in his life. And, you know, he didn't really like to talk about it. So I was sitting in my barracks room. It was probably about 1900, you know, 7 p.m. in the evening. I started hearing a lot of screaming coming from his room. He's throwing himself against the wall in the barracks, throwing himself back and forth. And I'm like banging on the room like, dude, what's going on? I'm like, calm down. And then he breaks out of his barracks room, throws himself out, starts screaming and flailing on the ground. I come out of my room, he's bleeding. Both of his wrists, bleeding of shit. The most blood I've ever seen was coming out of this dude's arms. And it took me about 3-4 seconds where I was in shock. So after those 3-4 seconds of initial shock, I start screaming. People start coming out of the barracks rooms all next door around us. I'm putting pressure on his freaking wrists. He cut them fucking deep. So I'm putting pressure on him. I'm like, grab fucking rags, grab your towels. People ran out, we're wrapping towels around his arms, putting pressure, and we're just standing there. All these people from my squadron, you know, we're all in the same barracks together. We're putting pressure on his wrists. He's crying, he's screaming. The MAs come running in after a couple minutes. Fucking medical comes running in. They take him away. But I still honestly can't believe that this actually happened. Like, I think part of my like brain or part of my memory, I was in so much shock or just so much like what the fuck is going on, that it was just like a blur. It went by so fucking fast. He didn't end up going on deployment with us for the rest of my 2 years that I was there in Japan. He never went on deployment again. He ended up going to Okinawa and was there just on shore duty, you know, just getting mental health, getting evaluated. I know this is a very intense story. I don't even really know how to wrap this up or where I really want to go from here. Talking about this, I think I'm just gonna end the video here, guys, and I just want to let you know that mental health is a very serious, it is a hard subject to talk about. I don't really think I have the tact or the ability to do it justice at this moment, but it is something that I want to further go into on this channel, because it is, you know, please talk to your chaplain, talk to your chain of command if you are having issues. But let's end this video, you know, as the usual, what a fam fashion. More of these episodes to come, guys. Thank you so much for all the support with this series, with the channel, with these videos. You guys have been blowing up, all the comments, all the thumbs up, man. It's fucking incredible. Like, it's the fucking best. From me and Papa, social media below as always. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Daily videos now on the channel. I just took my last final yesterday, so we're free. Many videos to come. Many collaborations upcoming as well. I wish I could tell you everything that's coming down the road, but I don't want to spoil it. I'll see you guys very soon, alright? Goodbye!